Acolytes. Hasan Piker just ruined his life. I don't think so. He is a rage clown and he does his job extremely well. And people fall for it time and time and time again. I wish he would, but he probably won't. So let's just see what Riff has to say about it.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So if you've been paying attention over the past couple of weeks, it's been a revolving door of non-stop drama and controversy involving a handful of content creators that we're going to once again revisit today because there's some more insane behavior going on. Over the past 24 hours alone, we've seen several large streamers on Twitch say not only that they support terrorist organizations in plain English, but also make more calls to violence against other content creators. It's ridiculous. It's exhausting. Now, what are we looking at here? Well, it is one of...
And as I said in one of my videos, I'm no free speech purist, and at this point, I actually think that the things that Hasanabi specifically has said should be punishable. Simply just, it's the call to violence is just too far, and the terrorist support. But the rest I don't care about. But these two things specifically are too far, in my opinion.
One of the most recent Hasan Piker streams, and you might notice that the title is a bit strange. Houthis show the limit of Iron Dome, as he types it in all caps and was probably pog facing as he was doing it. So what is he so enthusiastically talking about here? Well, he's talking about the Houthi terrorists who sent a missile and launched it on a civilian commercial airport. Yeah, that's what he's talking about, a terrorist attack. And he's typing it out like it's some grand thing that he's so excited about. It's very strange behavior, but of course, he's always had some favor for the Houthi terrorists. In fact, he interviewed one and glazed up that terrorist nonstop during his quote-unquote interview. But also, we've had this notion that he supports them. And now, he's just made it very clear. When he was asked by a chatter whether or not he supports them, he made it very clear.
You said Ethan's words can make him seem pro-Zionist and that he should be more thoughtful, but when he pointed out that your language can come off as supportive of terrorism, why not just admit that you're careless sometimes too to his fans? It made you look like you can't admit fault. I have no problem with the Houthis. Yeah, because I don't. What do you mean? If you think I'm a terrorism supporter for that reason, then yeah, I'm a fucking terrorism supporter. What are you talking about? The Houthis and their militancy in the Red Sea is a perfectly moral action. What would you do if there was a genocide happening in your fucking backyard? That's it. And Ethan had no answer for that. I also said, yes, some people think I'm a terrorist supporter, and that's on them and not me.
Well, there you have it, folks. He just straight up says it. He supports a terrorist organization. That is an absolutely wild thing, even for Hasan Piker. That's how mask off he went. He literally got one guide by this random chatter who was daring to challenge his opinion, and he just outright admits that he supports Houthi terrorists. It's absolutely insane. Then you see him talking about this moral right that the group has in the Red Sea. Does that absolute moral right include things like sending missiles at ships, at civilian airports, also taking over merchant ships, and doing all these other terrible, awful things that are very clear acts of terrorism? He is so deep in this, it's actually insane. Now, of course, you think to yourself,
no, the thing is, he's so deep in it that it's just irrelevant. It's just irrelevant. He has to stick to it, no matter what. He's a rage clown, and he knows that this will make people very, very mad. That's why he's gonna stick to it. And I think he actually supports violence like that. I mean, he also left a few times about civilians dying, acolytes, so at this point, yeah.
TOS, right? I know it's kind of pointless with Hasan Piker to bring up the TOS, but this is the most obvious breaking of the TOS. Now, it's kind of like that fact, I believe it's like the average American accidentally commits 2 to 3 felonies a day because they're not aware of certain laws or rules that exist and they just happen to break them by living life. That's kind of like with Twitch streams. If you look hard enough at pretty much any stream, you can find something that might break a rule somewhere in their giant TOS here. But this one isn't something you accidentally violate. You don't accidentally violate the terrorism and violent extremism rule in the TOS, which clearly does not allow you to glorify or support terrorism. And here's Hasan Piker saying, I support Houthi terrorists. Plain and clear. And we're not even talking about the fact that he played terrorist propaganda in the past, which is also a very clear violation of the TOS. You can't even play it for educational reasons or to denounce it. You can't play it at all, and he's done it multiple times. And then you also have this language here about supporting terrorism, which he just outright says, I support the Houthis, which, by the way, are a designated foreign terrorist organization. So that's not even up for debate. It's a fact at this point. And overall, why is this guy fighting so hard to glorify this group who is known for bringing back slavery? Yes, taking men and forcing them to fight on the behalf of the Houthis, taking women into sexual slavery, including children, torturing children, killing children, doing all of this stuff. It's absolutely disgusting. You're going to scroll through anything like this. There's no women's rights in any of these areas. They persecute the Jews. One of their main monikers of their entire group is a curse upon the Jews. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. And sometimes I guess we get a little bit fatigued by people like Hasan Piker. We're too used to this sort of behavior, but it's outrageous. And
well, acolytes, I explained my freaking stance on it at the start, what it should have done or what should happen to Hasan, but he's just openly freaking supporting this. This is disgusting. This is just disgustingly. It's why? Why would you support people harming other people like this? I understand that it's war. War is freaking dirty. It's sometimes necessary. And I'm always standing behind the side that actually defends itself. Or most of the time. Because as long as you don't go overboard. But it's still war. Things will happen. And at least you could not slaughter civilians. Not after children. Not after the women and such. Because in the end of the day, even from a strategic standpoint, if you are an invading part, you shouldn't harm the civilians. Why? Because they can continue production for food, for weapons, for everything you fucking need. Yes, if you're an invading force, there is a possibility that the civilians stand behind you. Because it's better than what they have now. So yeah, from every standpoint that I can think of, this is just disgusting behavior.
Twitch is really pushing the limits. I mean, they push it way beyond where it should have gone. If Twitch had 9 lives, they're on the last one at this point. I don't know how all of this hasn't crumbled already, especially in the leadership positions. How is Dan Clancy still operating at the top while allowing this to continue over and over again? It's crazy. When Amazon finally takes a real look at Twitch and what's going on this platform, it's going to be nuclear. They're going to be getting rid of a lot of people like Dan Clancy, and they're going to do something about people like Hasan Piker, and they're probably going to overreact, and they're going to try to get rid of a lot of things, even getting close to the type of commentary he provides, because it's gotten that bad and that out of hand. How is this not blowing up even more? This is a crazy thing to do. We're sitting here and watching one of the faces of a major platform openly say he supports a terrorist organization.
The thing is, Twitch, as stupid as it might sound, it has a lot of power if it comes to stuff like that. They have. And organization with a lot of power can allow themselves, well, a lot, basically. So, hey.
And it's not even surprising, just given the way that he has been. It's surprising he actually admitted it in plain English. But yeah, he did it. And now what? What is Twitch going to do about this? Probably nothing. And it doesn't really matter
Exactly
because
that.
you can't even report him. It's been shared that you literally can't even report Hasan Piker anymore. It just gives you an error message. You can't even get it through. It's insane. It's insane
Damn.
we're at this point. But again, it's not too surprising. Now, for Hasan, he's been in the news cycle, the major news cycle, a lot recently, including with fluff pieces like this by the New York Times. Let me read the original title of this article. A progressive mind in a MAGA body. For the presumably left-leaning journalist who made this, that is one of the most incredible and wild self-owns I've ever seen. But that was the original title. They got bullied into changing it because so many people were making fun of it, and the new title's not much better. But you can see fluff pieces like that. There's been a lot of them recently. But also he's getting some negative attention. You can see he was on Fox News, or at least they were covering him on Fox News, and he gets real nervous.
With anti-Semitism.
Let's go.
I am sorry. After October 7th, this is not about criticism of Israel or the Israeli
let's go.
government.
I think I'm going to go to jail, by the way. That's like, okay. This might actually cause me to go to jail, low key, but high key.
Genocidal slogans about the Jewish state.
Yeah.
They talk.
Hassan, you won't go to jail. And the only reason why you won't go to jail is because you're rich. Your parents are rich, your family is rich, and rich people just don't go to jail for some reason. That's the only reason you don't go to jail. Because every other mother effer only that would do literally the same amount of things that you're doing, that wasn't rich, would go to jail for this stuff. And the only reason you're not is because you're rich. And that's just a fucking fact.
Talk about Intifada glowingly. They support Hamas, a genocidal terrorist
I might
group
literally
with American
be going to
blood
jail
on their hands. It is a fallacy to pretend, oh, we can't criticize the government of Israel. That is not the issue
congratulations
here.
to all
These
my
people
haters, bro. You did it. All
just
the
lie
liberals.
constantly.
At least the nickname fits. Piker.
What does that mean?
So do I think Hasan Piker is going to go to jail over this stuff? No, I don't think he is. And even if he was charged, he's a very wealthy man. I'm sure he could find a competent lawyer to try to wiggle his way out of this. But the fact that he's being talked about on a platform like this is crazy. And he's feeling the heat, right? He looks very bad. And now you're getting people who are outside the little echo chamber. I think we get kind of stuck in this content creation space where we hold people up on a higher pedestal and level of importance than they actually are. But to see him getting into the major news cycle like this and being, well, described in exactly how he's wanted to be described is pretty crazy. And now he's nervous. And you know what he's doing? The first thing he's doing in response to this? He's playing the victim. He's acting like he's going to be persecuted for this stuff, when in reality, they're just sharing his insane beliefs that he proudly displays to his community, and he just doesn't like the mirror, basically. He doesn't like seeing people talk about him, because I guarantee if you go down the street and show a random average Joe some of his comments about terrorism and stuff, they would say this guy is absolutely insane. Now, is he actually breaking any laws? People keep throwing around material support for a terrorist organization. I don't think that's what he's doing. I think it's a bit of a stretch. But let it be known, it's not just the traditional sense where like you're sending weapons or money to them. There are also verbal things that you can say that will get you in trouble. And that has to do with expert advice or assistance. Now, I don't think anything he's doing is quite at that level, but the fact that we're literally even considering this is insane for someone who's supposed to be one of the faces of Twitch, a gaming streaming site. Like, what are we even talking about anymore?
Yeah.
How is this a real conversation and he's not going to get in any trouble for? I guarantee he's not going to get in trouble for this. His infamous ban, the most recent one, was one day after basically sharing violent rhetoric about a sitting U.S. senator saying someone needs to game end him. Like, you know what I mean? This is absolutely insane, and Twitch just looks stupid, more stupid by pretty much every single day, by allowing this stuff to continue over and over again. And the one term I also see is stochastic terrorism, which I think is something that a lot of people in his orbit like to do. Calls for violence, things like that, where they don't directly say, go do this to this person, but they're encouraging violent rhetoric and they're trying to have plausible deniability. This is what a lot of people, unfortunately, are resorting to because it's become normalized on Twitch. People think they can get away with this stuff, so they keep doing it. It's absolutely disgusting. And before we get off...
And the fact is, they are getting off with that, so it works.
...of Hasan Piker here, one more round of clips I want to share because this is really funny. So, when reacting to Asmongold, as he does every single day, Hasan says Asmongold is bitch made and audience captured. Let's listen to this.
Are you saying you're afraid of your community so you can't concede any ground on, so you say wild shit? Dude, I yell at my community more than he does. He's so fucking bitch made. He literally can't even stream on his main channel because he was afraid of fucking criticism. What the fuck are you talking about? I literally say everything with my whole goddamn chest. The idea that I'm fucking afraid of my audience, the way that I'm audience captured, this meta is so clear cut a form of projection that is insane to me. Because it's literally only commentators, only other people that engage in commentary, political commentary, actually say this all the time.
Well, okay, he says Asmongold is audience captured, meaning he can't say certain things because it would piss off his audience. So he has to steer around it, which is projection, as he's saying, and also hypocrisy because we got the receipts here. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is him talking about Hogwarts Legacy.
This game is the only reason why I'm not playing this game, and I know a bunch of other people are not playing this game, is because we know that it's not worth it to get fucking bullied endlessly and called transphobic endlessly when we have massive queer communities and audiences. That's it. Every
audience captured. He wouldn't play Hogwarts Legacy because he thought he would get bullied by his own audience. I'm glad people have receipts on stuff like this. It's not surprising to see this is all projection and hypocrisy, but anyways, I said there was going to be another example we were going to talk about today, and it's this guy, Mike from PA, who is once again making another call to violence, his second one in recent months. Let's listen to this.
Can I say something? Can I say something? And it's I really like that these people did this, but I gotta be honest, with my experience in life with people like Ethan, the only thing that ever knocks them out of their fucking spiraling is the rod. It's the stick. It's not the carrot. Like he feels like he's bullying you. He feels like he's hurting you. He's not going to stop until he's bleeding out of the corner of his mouth. And I get it. I want to be empathetic. Like, I understand the value of empathy. I understand the value of trying to reach out to someone. But somebody like Ethan, he needs to see some stars before he's going to fucking back down. You know? And so I just would not do this. Like, and I know that a lot of them have since come out and said, well, that didn't work because they legitimately tried. And so I don't think that they were wrong to try this. It's just with people like Ethan Klein, until he feels the pressure, he's not going to stop.
Just like the comments that Hasan has made about the Houthi pirates, this is going to go unpunished. 100%, nothing's going to happen to this guy. I don't think they want to go out of their way to do anything about this, but this is obvious. It's an obvious call for violence against Ethan Klein. I mean, what are we doing again? Why is Twitch allowing all of this? It's so gross that people resort to this stuff when they can't make a counter argument. They can't do anything that actually provides any sort of real criticism. They go to calls for violence and they go to extremism and all this stuff. It's so insane to see how normalized all of this is. And like I said, not even the first time this guy has made a call to violence. He did the same thing for Destiny as well a few months back. And all of the things we covered today, the two main clips, it's from the last 24 hours. Like, are we serious? And again, all these people are either Hasan Piker or people who are in his orbit. And it's not really a coincidence that this is where we're seeing the most calls for violence coming out of that group. It's really crazy. You know what's even crazier? You can't report this guy either. You can't even report him. Again, another error message if you try to report his channel. Absolutely insane. Something clearly going on at Twitch. But again, it's not surprising. But you can see Ethan Klein making this post saying, Twitch leftists continue to call for violence with zero recourse. Twitch must start passing out permanent bans for this, or there will be a reckoning like we've never seen. It's not too late, but it will be soon. And that's my thoughts as well on the platform. If they don't do something about this content, it's going to eventually boil over, and there's going to be no putting it back. It's going to be major consequences for the platform, especially if, like I said, Amazon starts taking a look, because right now Twitch is on life support. Don't get it twisted. Twitch is a struggling company somehow, despite having basically the golden ticket for printing money. They still are operating at a loss. They're relying on Amazon to save them. And imagine if Amazon pulls the plug. They are screwed. But that's going to do it for this video. As always,
Yeah, the thing is, Amazon won't probably, at least for the long time, because they have, well, I don't know, like a certain investment in it in the future. As long as people don't associate Twitch more with Amazon, it won't happen. It just won't. If we start associating Twitch with Amazon way more and start suffering under it, then we could accelerate the entire thing. But as it is, acolytes, good night.